Good day, my friends. Welcome to today's lesson. And today we're going to be focusing on how to develop good internal time, good internal rhythm. And I'm going to give you two exercises, two tips that you can use to practice to get the most out of practicing with the metronome and get the most out of practicing having good tempo, good rhythm, things like this. So I'm going to pull up a metronome here and I'm going to set it to 88 beats per minute. And this lesson is not on what you're playing, but how you're practicing it. So I'm going to give an example of something that I'm playing here, but the lesson isn't on what I'm playing, because you can apply these tips to whatever it is you are working on, whatever song, whatever it is that you're playing or practicing. So tip number one, I'm going to pull this metronome up here, and typically what people do is they hear the metronome on the beats. And I'm going to teach you how to change that to hear it on the off beats. This is particularly great for bluegrass, but really is helpful for any style of music and just helpful for relating to the metronome how you decide versus just what's default. So let's hear this. Mostly people hear 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But we're going to try to hear it on the ands, so I'll show you what I mean. So you're going to say and on the click, and the 1, 2, 3, 4 off the click. So, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Instead of 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. We're going to hear and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. And once you're in it, you can hear it easy. It's fine. But it's getting in, that's the hard part. Now, how do you get in? Say and on the beat, and then say the rest. So first you can start by doing this. And. And then just count the rest. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Now, just doing that is difficult. Just to get into that swing. To get into the swing of saying the numbers on the off the click and saying the ands on the click. So that's something to practice in and of itself, and will help you just associate with the metronome differently. You can decide that click of the metronome is on any beat in your mind. You could put it on the E of one, like 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a. You can put it on the ah. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. That can associate you differently and help you just have a better association with the pulse of the music, because you can mess around with it, in your head. It's not just what the metronome's telling you, right? So let's stick with that and, putting the click on and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And I'm going to play something for you, and then I'm going to give you tip number 2. So I'm going to play this little iteration on Wildflowers, Tom Petty. This is a little kind of variation I came up with, which I love that little opening lick. Just C major scale to the 4 chord. Again, this lick isn't on playing, so I'm just telling you I like that. But I'm going to play Wildflowers with this click on the and. And 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Right? Even just strumming, you're hitting that strum on the offbeat, or with the click. Right? So that's great practice. It just helps you kind of associate with the backbeat more strongly. And you can do that with anything you're practicing, right? Like if I was practicing, let's just say I was working on a scale. There's C major scale. Let's say I was doing eighth notes. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and... Right? You can practice anything with that. Let's say I was doing 16th notes. And 4, and 1 E, and a 2, E and a 3, E and a 4. Right, whatever it is. Right, you can practice anything with that, practicing with the click on the offbeat. Now here's part 2 of this. This is really what helps you develop better internal time and helps wean you off of using the metronome to have good time. So this is how it works, is you're going to take whatever it is you're practicing on the metronome with whatever tempo it is, and you're going to take that tempo, that number. So for here I'm on 88, so I'm going to take that 88 and I'm going to divide it by 2. So what's 88 divided by 2 is 44. So I'm going to put the metronome to 44 and I'm going to play the same exact thing that I was playing at 88. Now what's going to happen is the metronome is going to let me know half the amount of time if I'm in time or not. So I'm going to play at the same speed, but the metronome's just going to be clicking half the amount, and I'm going to keep it on the and beat. So I'll show you what I mean. I'll do it with my voice first. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. I'm going to put it back to 88, do the same thing just to show you the difference. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. So you can hear how that and is really, that click is really saying, here's the time every time. It's always letting you know what the time is. Now this one, I keep that same rhythm in my head. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. And I put this. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and... Now I'm going to play. Now that was a little bit sloppy. Wasn't quite perfect, but that's the idea. Is you're listening for, is this on the beat? Now I'm going to play something simpler just to make it more obvious. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. So I can say in my head, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2. And I'm going to try to be quiet so you can hear the metronome. Right? 1 and 2. It's on 1 and 3 and 1 and 3 and 1 and 2. So that's the idea there. And so that's helping me develop my own time and relying on the metronome less, but still having the metronome to say, okay, are you out or are you in? Now this can be divided to the smallest, the smallest number that you can get. So 44, you're going to do it again. And this is going to be the next level of weaning. This is like weaning yourself off the drug of being told what the time is, so you can feel it inside. Now I'm just actually seeing that this metronome here only lets me go down to 40. Most metronomes will let you go to whatever number you want. So you should be able to go take 44 and turn it down to 22. Let me see if there's one. I'm just using a metronome online here. Let's see if this lets me go to 22. Oh, it does. Okay, so let's hear this one. 22. It wants me to subscribe. No. Let's hear this. And 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So just doing it with your voice, Let's find it again. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. So this is helping you feel 3, 4 if you're on time or not. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3. So I can see where I'm going too fast if I don't land on the click. I'm tapping my foot. 3, 4, 1 and 2. Now your tendency and 2 is gonna want to either rush or go too slow. So you have to listen, and you have to make adjustments until you can really feel the pulse. You should tap your foot. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'm gonna try to play. Right? So the more complex the thing you're playing is, this is the key. Listen to this. The more complex the thing you're playing is, the more your attention goes away from the time and onto whatever it is you're playing, on whatever instrument it is. So if you know how well you know something, if you can play it in time with the least amount of, guidance from the metronome, you know that not that much of your attention is actually going to the playing itself. More of your attention then is going towards the time. So this is the thing. Like, you can learn. There's levels to learning a piece of music. I know the notes pretty well, and then there's, like, I call it getting the 4 levels of knowledge. The first level is I don't know what I don't know. The second level is I know what I know. I know what it is that I don't know. Now, I don't know why those balloons come up, but I'll take it. I know what I don't know. I guess when I do peace, I get balloons. I know what I don't know, right? And then level 3 is I know what I know. Right? I've learned it, I know it, but I still have to think about it in order to do it. And that's the level you want to get past with whatever it is you're playing, whatever it is you're singing, whatever it is you're learning. It doesn't even have to be music. It could be anything. You want to get past that third level of I know it, but I still have to think about it. Conscious competence, we call it. The level 4 is unconscious competence, which means you know it so well that you don't have to think about it. And I use the shoelace as the example. You've tied your shoelaces so many times that you don't have to think about tying your shoelace in order to do it. You could have a conversation, you could think about other things while you're tying your shoelace because you're unconsciously competent. That's how you want to be with whatever it is you're playing. You've done it so many times, and that's the question. How do you get to unconscious competence? You do it so many times that you don't have to think about it anymore. So you should do musical pieces like that. Play something a million times until you don't have to think about it. Example would be, strumming on the guitar, doing like boom check. You want to be unconsciously competent at boom check, right? I learned that from Tommy Emmanuel when I was learning, this kind of fingerstyle stuff. You want to be unconsciously competent with that boom chick, with the thumb. Same thing goes with the pick or whatever it is you're playing. So get to unconscious competence with the playing part, and then you can start to focus more on the rhythm part. and this exercise is fantastic to do that with. So these are the 4 levels of learning something, and these are 2 examples of ways that you can use the metronome differently to basically take it to the next level. You know, how do you level up with your rhythm playing? How do you level up your internal time? These are 2 ways that you can do that. And I think that's all I got for today. So I hope these exercises are useful for you. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you have any suggestions of stuff you'd like me to look at or do a video on, put it in the comments. And please like, share, subscribe, bell button, all that stuff, so you get notified when I do new videos on here. And we'll see you guys in the next video.